Otaku Prince Yuri. So I'm making my Alice in Wonderland book collection for you. So these are the books that I have. I've downgraded a ton over the years just because I didn't keep all the little kid books or gift books really that a lot of people get me. I kind of regret that, but you know, whatever. So I'm going to show you my books here. So I have this book. It's Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. It's an old one. It was from 1971. And here is everybody who illustrated and published it. This book's pretty cool just because of that it's both the books in one. It's a good size to take with you if you're traveling or going to the doctor and you need something to do. I like all the illustrations in it, and they're all of the classic ones, you know. So then I have Disney's Alice in Wonderland. It's the Tim Burton movie one. It has Tim Burton illustrations in it. And it was printed in 2010. Here's who illustrated and worked on this book. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely a child's book, and it does have prints from the movie scattered throughout it. They're kind of hard to find. There's not like a whole bunch. I was able to pick this book up for, I think, a couple dollars on eBay. The other book that I showed, I got at a charity shop. I don't know if you're into murder mysteries about, you know, who killed who and such, but this is a good thrilling book. This is Down the Rabbit Hole, an Echo Falls mystery, and it is by this guy. My mom actually found this book at a thrift store, got it for me, and it was actually a really nice book. And I think there's more in this series. I just haven't read them yet. Then we've got this old Alice one. It actually doesn't say when this book was printed anywhere in it. But here is what's on the, you know, who wrote it and illustrated it. It does have artwork throughout it. And a couple of the poems. Next, I have this leather-bound book. I think you might have had the same book, just a different color, I think. It's really nice. It's leather. It has the silk bookmark in it. It's got Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. And I love, love, love the prints in this book. So not only do they have the black and whites, but they do have colored artwork, which I think is so neat. Next, this was a coffee table from my parents. This is the complete illustrated works of Lewis Carroll with all 276 original drawings. So a lot of the original drawings from the first books. And they're all, like, everywhere throughout this book. This is a pretty nice book, and I really loved it. And then my parents outdid themselves and bought me a better book, which I'll show you that now. They bought me this monstrous, huge thing. So this is my coffee table book. It's the complete illustrations. And it has absolutely everything in it. And look how big that is. And my hands are not like large hands at all. They're pretty small. So we've got Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Alice Through the Looking Glass. We've got more of Lewis Carroll's poems and other stories he wrote. More. Verses, earlier verses, poems, puzzle games, puzzles from Wonderland, Phantasmagoria, you know, and actually Phantasmagoria Marilyn Manson is making an Alice movie of that because he feels that he's the incarnation of Lewis Carroll, which is pretty interesting. And poems, stories, like it goes on, and this thing is humongous. And it's like easy to read as well. So yeah, and here was the author and illustrator, and it was published in like 82, I want to say. Yeah. 1991. Then I've got this leather-bound book from Barnes & Noble. It's limited edition. It's leather, and it's got silver pages. Has a silk bookmark. So here's where it talks about it's published by Barnes & Noble in 2015. All of the pages in it are colored, which is pretty neat, instead of just the black and white. This is also a neat book. This is Alice in Wonderland, and then when you flip it over, it is Peter Pan. So here's where it talks about who illustrated it and printed the book. It's printed in 1955. I got this book for free at a charity, well, not charity, it's at my doctor's. There's a charity shop that donates books to them. And any book that you see there and you want, you can take home for free. And it's yours because they want to encourage families and people to read. And I always look, but I never see any Alice books, and then I saw this one and I had to have it. I absolutely love all the illustrations in it. It is just breathtaking. And then when you flip the book over, Peter Pan is illustrated in color as well. And here is the dad holding Peter Pan's shadow, Wendy and all of her brothers. Peter Pan trying to put on his shadow, so it's so cute. I received this as a Christmas present last year. This is Alice in Comic Land. So these are all different comic books that Alice has been featured in throughout the years, and it is amazing. You could probably still buy this, I would assume, at your local comic book store. Here's who put this book together. And if we flip through here, it's just different comic books with different artists using Alice in their comic books. That's like a modern Alice. So this is amazing. I haven't read all of them yet. I've been trying to save it to only read a few. So there was that. Then this is Walt Disney's Choose Your Own Adventure story. And this is the Alice in Wonderland one. And story adapted by. And it's really neat because you actually get to be Alice's friend and go through Wonderland and help her make choices about where you're going to go. It's so cool. So if you don't have this book, I would suggest getting it because it does add another element of Wonderland to it. It's so pretty and awesome. This is the book I got in Romania when I was there in October last year. It comes with a CD. This is all Alice in its Disney version, and it's in Romanian. And I can't wait to use the CD it comes with to learn more Romanian. That way I can talk with my friends there better than I do now. But it's so exciting. And here's the CD. Here's the back. And I showed you this pop-up book. It was in my haul. You know, it's pretty broken, some of the stuff in it, but it's pretty cute. And here's who it was designed by and published. Then I haven't seen that you have this book in your collection, and I hope that you actually get it because it's amazing. This is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. This is the best pop-up book. It's pretty expensive, but believe me, it's well worth it. So, I could literally do like a whole video on just this book. Like, so this says open me, and if you look in here, you actually get to see Alice falling all the way down. The infamous scene of Alice in the house. And I'll show you one more, that way you'll be surprised when you get this book. Alice with the cards attacking her. This is the traditional Walt Disney in Alice in Wonderland. And this one is by so I'm sure you have this book and know of this one, which I do love all the colors and stuff. But this one is a rip-off one of Disney. It's Alice in Wonderland, a classic fairy tale, illustrated by Van Gool. And published in 1994. Illustrated. And it is so cute. She's really chibi looking throughout this whole book. Just adorable. This is a mini coloring book I have, and it's stained glass. It's so small. It's the size of my hand, like tinier than my hand. And they're all stained glass. And here's who it's published by, 1998. And it's all stained glass windows, which is pretty cool. Then I have these. I don't know if you have these or not, but these are manga. This is Alice in the Country of Hearts. And these are both like a whole bunch of comic books in one. So here's this one. And there's more to this. I just don't have them. And I have the game, too, for the PSP. Really good stories, so if you haven't read them, you should, because they're really neat. This is the oldest Alice in Wonderland book I own. This is, I'll open it up here. I bought this from an antique store. I paid $3 for this book. And this book was published in 1920. There's only a few pictures in it, but it's beautiful. This is a coloring book, a tiny one from Japan, of Alice in Wonderland. And it's pretty cool. Not a lot of Alice stuff, but it still is nice. And then this is the Disney coloring book of All Just Alice. And I've been coloring in it, doing stuff. It also has Peter Pan. Then my last two, I have Alice in Wonderland, the adult coloring book. This was all based off of a anime, and it's different comic books, and it is amazing. Absolutely love this. The pictures are just phenomenal. Just absolutely enjoy it. And I have the board game too of this. Then here's my last one. This is Alice's Nightmare in Wonderland coloring book, Jonathan Green, and illustrated by Kev Crossland. I really like the White Rabbit in this. I colored him. And it says some of the story. But some of the story and some of the illustrations are kind of, you know, like Tin Men. But it's still been pretty fun. And I did have a puzzle book like you have. That was a Christmas present from my parents. Just don't know where it is. But anyway, that was my collection. Thanks for looking. Bye.